Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So I'd already done a first impressions of some of the found makeup products, but I thought I would go ahead and pick up some more because I really liked a lot of their products. I felt that it was really nice that there is a more accessible green beauty brand at Walmart. I will be the first to admit it is not perfectly clean in terms of ingredients, but I think that having accessibility to cleaner makeup options is really great, and having these cleaner makeup options at a good affordable price point is really important. What I have here today is the number 10 nude eyeshadow palette. Really nice actually. It reminds me kind of the Sonia Kashuk eyeshadow palettes. It's got these nice little square pans. There is no mirror, but I think most of us don't actually really need a mirror in our packaging. I mean, it's nice if you're using it traveling, but otherwise we almost always are doing our makeup with a mirror in front of us. I also picked up the highlighter palette here, and it comes with these 3 nice highlighter shades. And there's only one, but the title of this one is the 05 Luminous Glow. The third palette I picked up was the contour palette, and this is the number 10 Light Medium Contour Palette. And I believe there's only one contour palette as well. There were 2 eyeshadow palettes, and the other eyeshadow palette was more cool toned, but I really liked this nude one better. I felt like it had a good mix of cool and warm tones. The other one was just a little bit too cool toned. I think it was called the Blush palette. I believe that's what the name of the other one was. And seeing them in person, I just gravitated toward this one. Which also I should note that both of the eyeshadow palettes have been out of stock on Walmart's website for quite a while now, but I was able to find them in my local Walmart store. So if you do have a Walmart store in your area that does carry Found, and you can find that out by going on Found's website and looking and using the store finder, and you can find if there are any Walmart stores in your area that carry Found. I did find quite a large number of both of the eyeshadow palettes in my Walmart, so if you are really dying to get your hands on the eyeshadow palettes, that is a way to do that. I will start off by swatching all the palettes, and I will also give you my thoughts on the palette. So there's 12 eyeshadows, and here are all 12 of the eyeshadows swatched on my arm. The lighter ones down here are very close to my skin tone, so they're really hard to see. This cream matte one is basically my skin tone, and this gold one is just a little bit darker than my skin tone. There are 4 matte eyeshadows, this white one, this black one, this dark brown one, and this lighter brown one right here are matte. I would say this gray over here is a little bit more of a satin eyeshadow. It doesn't seem completely matte, especially when I was swatching it. And then this gold one, this pink one, this pink one, this kind of copper one, this olivey gold one, this one, and this darker gray over here are all definitely more metallic eyeshadows. I do have to say these do not swatch well, and I noticed this when I first got the palette. The swatches are just not that great. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell. They're just not the same quality of something like a Root eyeshadow or a Teri Miyahira metallic eyeshadow. Like, those are just super buttery and just swatch amazingly. But I did do my eye look with this eyeshadow palette, and I've been doing my eye look for quite a few days trying this out, and you can check on my Instagram and check out some of the looks I've done with this. And I find that when I get these eyeshadows, particularly the metallic ones, on top of either the Silk Naturals eye primer or the Alima Pure eye primer, that I don't have a problem. They really just perform super well. It says on the back of this package that you can use them wet, so you can wet them with like a rose water glycerin spray and go in that way to get them more pigmented and more metallic. I haven't done that. I'm not a huge wet eyeshadow fan. If I can get them to apply dry, I prefer to do that. But I think with a really good primer that these do work really well. And this matte brown here works super well as the crease shade. That's my only regret, is I wish there was like another crease shade in this palette instead of just this one, but I do like it. I think it blends really easily. I really like this white matte to kind of set my crease. You guys have seen me go in my other tutorials and kind of like go into my crease with a translucent setting powder or something like that to kind of get a powder layer down so that all my crease shades blend well on top of that, and I can really use this eyeshadow for that. And also I take it all the way up to my brow bone, and I think it really helps to brighten this area between my crease and my brow bone. Also, I don't know if you noticed this in the swatch, this dark brown shade is super pigmented. I have that along my lower lash line. I really love that for deepening up the outer corner and running along my lower lash line. So what do I have to say about this? It's not amazing. It's not the most amazing eyeshadows I've ever used in my entire life, but it is $14 and you get 12 eyeshadow shades. They're not irritating my eyes. They're not making my eyes itch or anything like that. So there is that. As well, they're not the most pigmented things ever, but I find them really workable. Like, I'm not upset with how they perform. I'm really happy with it. I've been loving using this eyeshadow palette. Like I said though, if you want something that's just like these buttery metallic eyeshadows like the Teri, Miyahira, or Root, don't expect that from this palette. But if you're looking for an affordable eyeshadow palette, I really don't have any complaints about this. I've not really used these gray tones here just because those are not shades that I use or gravitate towards, but I've used this one, 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 and this one. Just not the two grays and the black, and all the other ones I'm happy with. The only thing is I have a really hard time distinguishing between these two shades right here, this kind of pinker metallic and this one. They look very similar to me when I put them on, but other than that, I really do like it, and I think especially for $14 and something you can pick up at Walmart, it's a pretty good deal. Next, I'm going to move on to the highlighter palette and swatch this one as well. Obviously you can see this darker one and this pink one easier against my skin tone. The lighter one is very close in shade to my skin tone, but hopefully you can see as I'm moving my arm, a little bit of glimmer from all three of them. Like the eyeshadows, these are very similar in formula to these. They're a drier powder, they are not buttery, and they're not ridiculously metallic. That being said though, I once again don't hate them. I have this, this light highlight is what I have on my cheekbones today, and I built it up quite a bit. You can build up these highlights, so if that is something you're concerned about, you can build these up. The other thing about it though is it's kind of nice sometimes, I think, to have a more natural highlight. If you want a highlight for work or for school, having a highlight that just doesn't go like bam and it's like beaming and all of that, you don't always want that. So in that way, this highlight is nice. If you just want a very natural highlight, you can just do a very light dust, but you can build it up to get a pretty good glow on your cheeks. I can use this lighter shade here and this pinker shade. I cannot use this darker shade. I think you can tell from the swatch that that would be too dark for me. This pinker shade, I tend to kind of focus it more like in this area and use it as a kind of blush topper instead of like a full-blown highlight. I don't take it back up as high on my cheekbone. I didn't do it today, but I have done that several times and I like that. I think this shade here could make a really nice eyeshadow color. But I do like that they do have this kind of wider range of highlight shades, because if you're darker than me, you might not want this highlight shade, but this pink or this darker one might work well for you. So I do like that about it. Once again, don't expect a beaming highlight from this. It is something that is a more natural highlight, but you can build it up. So there is that. And I think it's just really nice to have these palettes because in conventional beauty, there's all these highlighter palettes and contour palettes and eyeshadow palettes, and they're harder to find in Green and Eco Beauty, so I really like having that option. And once again, I believe this is $14. Here is the contour palette swatched on my arm here. Here are the 3 shades in it. Sorry, I like swatched it on a bad place on my arm. I have been using this lighter shade here to set my under eye concealer. I really like it for that. I think it's like the perfect shade to do that. It's very close match to my skin tone. This lighter shade here I used to contour my face, and this darker shade here I haven't used because it's just too dark. I mean, you can see how fair I am. I just think that it would be really hard for me to contour with that shade. But it's really nice, once again, to have that option if you do have a deeper skin tone to be able to use that shade. These are not ridiculously pigmented either. I think that's the overall thing I would say about these palettes, is they are not the most pigmented things. But I also think for contour that's kind of nice, because having these shades that are not ridiculously pigmented makes it easier to apply your contour, because you can just start out with a little bit, you can blend it, you can build it up. You're not just going to end up with this gray brown line on your cheek. This is something that you can build up to the desired contour that you want without just ending up looking completely crazy. This shade here does work pretty well for my contour. I do prefer something a little bit more gray. It's a little warmer than I like, but I think it does work pretty well. I don't know, you guys can let me know. I think it's not too bad of a contour shade for me. It is cool enough that it works. Both of these are cool contour shades, but they're not ridiculously cool. Like I have the Teri Miyahira Strong Contour Pan, and that thing is like a really cool, almost gray color. And it does work for me because I am so fair and I have cool undertones, but that thing is like so pigmented that I just have to like touch my brush in it and then like knock it off wildly before I put it onto my face to contour. Whereas with this, I don't have to worry about that as much. They do blend well. I think it just works really nicely. So once again, for $14, I think these are really nice. None of these palettes contain talc, which is something I am very cautious about. Am I glad I purchased them? Yeah, I like them all. And I also like that they're like very thin profiles of palettes. They're something that I could really easily travel with. I really see myself traveling with this eyeshadow palette a lot because I have everything I could want in an eyeshadow palette right here. And I mean, these two are very small as well. They're not bulky palettes. I think these could also be good for traveling. I'm really happy with my purchases. I think it just depends on if you are someone that is dead set on having really pigmented, really buttery powders, really beaming highlights. If that is what you're looking for, this isn't for you. It all works. It's not the most amazing thing ever, but it works. And sometimes having something that works, you can get at Walmart, that is affordable, is worthwhile. So that's where I'm going to leave this. If you have any particular questions about these products, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I've been a little bit slow in responding to my comments, but I promise I will get back to you eventually. So just leave any questions there. And I hope you found this video useful and maybe a little bit entertaining. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. Also check out my Instagram. I'll have my handle down below. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirl. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!